How's it going, everyone, and welcome back for another adventure. If you're new here, I appreciate you clicking the video. I hope you enjoy this one too. In this adventure, we do an epic cleanup of epic proportions. Epic. It was absolutely insane. We found a spot with thousands of pounds of cannonballs, probably 10,000 or so pounds. We did as much as we could under one tank of air, and we did a massive cleanup and floated the cannonballs up to the surface, crates upon crates upon crates, and we still have to go back for more and continue our cleanup efforts. On the next day, I head out to Rocky Point in Nanaimo, BC, and continue my cleanup efforts among schools of herring and sea lions. It's that time of year where sea lions bomb us in the epic visibility. I found 50 or so fishing lures, grabbed a bunch of fishing line, some rotten old fishing rods as well that I found on the bottom. Did an amazing cleanup throughout the few days, gave back to the ocean, which gives me so much. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Peace and love, everybody. Thanks for watching my videos.
Oh my god, don't film me with one of these in my hand. I have a reputation to uphold.
Yeah, what's this, man? You're cheating.
Oh, Jesus.
Cheating on freediving.
You know, once every year, maybe I go scuba diving.
There you go. Well, technically, we're scuba diving for freediving, right?
Yes.
Because we're gonna go look for a bunch of cannonballs that Fred found. Found a big old pile of them. We found downriggers and flashers. We're gonna do a nice retrieval. We got BC Adventures, Ryan Swan. What up, buddy? Yeah, finally diving with him. I've been planning on it for a long time, but it's been back and forth. Him canceling, me canceling. More so me canceling because I work on the mainland and it's hard to plan stuff out in advance. But it's gonna be an awesome time. I'm scuba diving and I'm gonna go look for a lot of weight. We're gonna do our best to retrieve as much as we can in a high current area that's not that deep, but I'm scuba diving, which I never do, rarely do. Anyways, gonna gear up. We got a big old mission ahead of us and a lot of hard work too. And eventually this lead is gonna get melted down and turned into lead for Fred Shaw, used to us freediving. He's covering this adventure today. And who hooked up the tanks?
Wilson's Diving.
Yeah.
Bondo.
So shout out to them too for hooking up the scuba gear. Yeah, very generous. Thank you. This is gonna be intense. Lifting up thousands of pounds of lead from the ocean's bottom, setting them up in milk crates with lift bags. Something else I've never done before. Even the experienced diver with us has limited experience with lift bags. Boats in the water. Oh. Yeah, for sure. All right, all hands on deck. These have always been my favorite type of dives, these missions that we go on. We plan everything out meticulously, and to see everything finally come to light, just super exciting and also rewarding. At this point in our adventure, we had no idea what we were gonna see though, so we had our fingers crossed and hoped everything went smoothly. So we're gonna do a quick scouting mission, bit of freediving, looking around for a crab if we find one. We realized the current was screaming and we don't want to sit on a boat for 2 hours and get cold, so we're gonna scout around here, film around and have some fun, and then look for those cannonballs. You know what they say, roll with the punches, and that's what we did. The current was screaming at the last spot, so we explored this one, and the visibility was great, so we were pretty relieved, at least that was working in our favor. This spot here, I dove a bunch in the past. It's no longer shore accessible due to a bunch of developments. This is the first spot I ever dove on Vancouver Island. I bought my wife a wetsuit, but she got pregnant, no longer fit her. I sold it on Facebook Marketplace to someone on Vancouver Island, and I told him, hey, I'll deliver the suit to you, but take me out for a dive, and he was keen, so he brought me here, and we went for an epic dive. I got a nice Puget Sound king crab, and then he dropped me off after. Guy's name is Joseph. He's a really cool dude, awesome diver at the same time. Shout out Joseph. Down here, we were finding a bunch of sunstar, which is a great sight. This spot is becoming a bit of an urchin barren, but hopefully we see more of these sunflower sea stars. Sunstar graze on sea urchin. These sunflower stars annihilate sea urchin. But as you know from my videos, if you watch my videos, these starfish waste syndrome has annihilated their populations, which is kind of sad. I don't know if we're seeing a bit of the waste syndrome right there on the top right hand side of this sunstar, but it doesn't look like it's in the greatest shape. Hopefully I'm wrong on that. But also these fish eating anemones, they're such a cool sight. I love going underwater. It's like entering a completely different world, which is, well, I guess it's not because it's on planet Earth, but feels like it at least. And these fried egg jellyfish are always a cool sight. These are seasonal, so they'll be heading back down to the depths as the water gets cooler. And the structure at this spot was great. I wish we saw some kelp. Kelp is seasonal. It does kind of dissipate around this time of year, but I just don't think there was any here this season to begin with due to all the sea urchin that we were seeing. I found this octopus den, but nobody home. I was pretty confident I was going to see one, but no dice. Fred, I saw Fred though. That was cool.
That was a lot of crowd sign.
How was it?
It's pretty good, man. This is good.
Yeah, not bad. See anything cool?
Yeah, I saw about one octo, some, what are they called again? Orchbill nudibranch, lots of greenlings, like just schools of fish like swimming around. And I found this really cool, like a crack, like swim through, kind of like a crevice. Just kind of went right through there. It was really neat. And there was like greenlings kind of going up by these fishing anemones.
Dive one in the bag. We're gonna get a little warm up in us and then head out to that spot. The diving here is pretty decent. No crabs. Saw an octopus den. Highlight for me was a massive sun stare. Looks like you're staring into a galaxy. Visibility was nice. Structure was pretty cool. Beautiful time. Beautiful time. You all right, man? Can I help you?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
You good? Cool. We'll just tow you to the next spot.
No, it's still flooding, eh?
Yeah, but not too much. Okay, drop it here.
We're at the spot where gearing up, getting all ready. It's gonna be quite the mission. The visibility on the upside looks crystal clear. Looks really nice. You got below your neck seal
Yeah.
and your gloves leaking.
Yeah.
That's a drag.
Gonna try to rock it though. I think we'll be fine.
That should work.
Gotta power through it.
And you don't have a ladder, so is this to get us out of the water?
No, it's just to attach all the crates together so we can go down with the crates.
Just Boco time. I think we're all ready, right?
Yeah.
You ready, Freddie?
Yep.
All right.
So should we do a quick buddy check? BCD.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Good.
Yeah. That check was.
Weights. Everybody's got their weight pouches on, their belts on.
Yeah.
I got the belt.
Okay, releases. Everybody's got their straps connected properly. Everybody's straps are connected properly.
Yeah. Looks like it.
Air. Everybody's air source is working. Okay. Tanks are turned on.
Yep.
Final check. Mask, fins.
Momentarily.
Okay, so let's run through this real quick. So we're gonna take this out underwater, and then when we do that, I'll make sure that this is secured and clip this back off so it doesn't float away. And then this will be connected to one of those cradles in the bin.
I stopped filming rather abruptly there. I should have kept the camera rolling because Ryan was spitting out some really interesting information. I wish I had that on camera and had it for everybody, but I don't. You snooze, you lose. Either way, our hearts were really, really pumping fast at this point. We were so excited to get in the water. I was really excited to scuba dive because I never scuba dive, but I always have my nervous jitters when I first enter, because I don't really know what's going to happen yet. I'm not that comfortable at scuba diving, and it was my first time scuba diving in current and an offshore pinnacle. Actually, this might only be my second scuba boat dive, and the first one I did was in the British Virgin Islands, so completely different environment than what we're dealing with right here.
It's a lot of current. Well, it looks like it is. It could help.
Feels like if you move against it, at least just crawl down the head. Come on.
Yeah, we'll wait till Fred and then we'll crawl down.
Yeah.
Ready to go?
You are ready? We're going. So this was pretty cool. As soon as we got right down at the bottom, I started seeing cannonballs. You can see one down there resting on the ocean's floor. I dove down and picked it up. Now these things are heavy. They're like 10 to 15 pounds each. I think we found maybe a handful that were above 15 pounds. Now keep in mind, when I'm free diving, I hold my breath. Buoyancy changes as you descend because the neoprene compresses and the air in your lung compresses. But when you're scuba diving, you have a BCD that you inflate with air. Now, as soon as we grab onto a cannonball, we'd immediately get heavier. And then you're trying to swim that cannonball back to the spot where we were stockpiling them to eventually send up in a float bag. But at that point, we would be very negative. So you're going from being positive, grabbing onto a cannonball, being very negative. You try to fill up your BCD to compensate for the additional negative buoyancy, but you're constantly going back and forth between the two, and you're draining your air. Every time you put air into your BCD, that's air taken away from your ability to breathe underwater. So it's a bit of a struggle, especially for my inexperience, trying to keep myself positively weighted. I brought my carbon fiber set my fins. They're quite expensive. I was just bashing them to smithereens off the ocean's floor. I should have brought my leader Getting Salty edition fins that are made from fiberglass, a little bit more durable. Big shout out to Wilson's Diving in Victoria again for renting us the tanks. Fred, East to West Freediving, for finding this spot and sharing its location with me and bringing me here, trusting me to do this cleanup with him. Shout out to Ryan, BC Adventures. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel. And a big shout out to Diving Sports, my main sponsor, who hooks me up with all my scuba diving equipment, my freediving equipment, and also trained me up to scuba dive in the first place. Diving Sports gave me a dry suit, and I've yet to put it on. I was using a 7mm open cell 2-piece Farmer John suit, and I stayed really warm throughout the whole entire dive. And part of that might be due to the fact that we were lifting up weight the whole entire time. It was quite strenuous, the exercise. But I feel like a dry suit would have its benefits, but the inconvenience of donning one and the fact that seals fail and gloves leak, I just feel like a wetsuit is more my cup of tea. But I'm going to use that wetsuit. Don't worry, Diving Sports. I'm excited to try it out. That dry suit, I should say, not wetsuit. This was a technique I saw Fred doing when I was underwater, grabbing a cannonball with each hand and kind of crawling along the bottom. The downside is when I was doing that, I sent my hand right into a sea urchin quill and I got one in my hand. Even as we speak, it's all swollen. And I'm not sure if it's going to come out because the skin has healed over where the sea urchin quill entered. So another one enters my hand. Another one bites the dust. Check out these piles though. Absolute insanity, like craziness. And we scratched the bare surface of the reef that we were on. I busted out my other camera for this. I have the camera mount on my mask, but also a Ace Pro 2 on a selfie stick. But I think I count 6 or 7 in this one little pile alone. And again, we barely scratched the surface of this reef. We could spend another probably week or even longer out here and still find cannonball after cannonball after cannonball. We barely focused on any of the clips. We barely focused on any of the flashers. Our priority was just doing a complete blitz for all the lead that we laid our eyes on. And I'd swim past like smaller cannonballs and make my way to the larger ones that I was seeing that was grabbing my attention. I'd usually find one and I'd find 2 or 3 more after laying eyes on one. That was Ryan there checking on my air, making sure that I was safe. Ryan's got loads of experience. He, I believe, teaches scuba diving out of Wilson's, or he does group dives with people, so he's no stranger to taking people out. He was saying he's wondering what he was getting himself into when we were going out in the morning, because me and Fred, we're not scuba divers. He is, and he's way more prepared and knowledgeable than we are. This is considered a bit of a sketchy dive, so kudos for taking us out, man. Huge shout out, and I'm happy it all paid off, and we all live to see another day. You can see here all our efforts were starting to pay off. In each of those crates, we probably have about 10 or 15 cannonballs. I never did a complete count on what I found, but I think we're all doing pretty well, even retrievals. I'd swim out, find some, they would swim out and find some, and we just all make our way back to that spot miraculously. None of us got lost. We have this like internal compass that just brings us back to that kelp bed where we left those crates. You can see a few flashers. Fred had a good point. A lot of those flashers were buried. So if flashers can get buried, so can cannonballs. So we're just seeing surface level lead. We're not seeing anything that's buried under rocks, under kelp, under seaweed. So if we came out in the heart of winter when all this kelp dies off, I'm sure that would expose even more cannonballs. I love scuba diving, it's really cool, but you're getting into it and you're all excited and pumped, and you look at your gauge and you realize, oh no, I only have like 500 PSI left. Dive's over, we got to get to the surface. As we're free diving, you know, we wouldn't have had much time underwater because the current would have picked up. We would have had maybe 7 or 8 dives in total before the current was too strong to dive. So scuba diving definitely for the win here, but it sucks that after a half hour you can't keep pushing it. You're out of air, and that's the dive, that's the day. I quickly realized I wasn't being too much help. I did my best to make sure the kelp didn't interfere with the lift bags. But I figured, hey, you know, everyone's got their hands tied. I might as well make myself useful and film from a distance. And let's be real, this is the most important job by far, is getting the content. Because without the content, it didn't happen. I'm just playing. This lead is going to make its way to Fred's shop. Fred's not doing this for the money. None of us are doing this for the money. Fred brought us all out for dinner. He paid for the fuel, paid for the boat launch, paid for the parking, paid for the rentals. He can get lead for $1 a pound. When you factor in the money he's going to recoup from all this lead, he's maybe breaking even. So it was just something to do. It gives back to the environment that we always harvest from. And this lead, a lot of the lead cannonballs that we found were all flaking. So a lot of the lead ends up on this reef and can contaminate the whole entire area. Maybe not mass contamination, but still lead isn't good for the environment, affects wildlife, etc., etc. This was the most exciting part, most nerve-wracking part. You can see me just pulling kelp out of the way, getting this to the surface, seeing the first bag go up there was amazing. Awesome work, everybody. I'm so pumped to be a part of this journey and adventure. Woo! That's awesome.
Look at, there's a lot of lead, eh?
Yeah, that's sweet.
There's so much fucking lead.
Dude, unreal. Like, I'd find one and I'm like, there's like 3 or 4 more here. Here, I'll take my gloves off. That'll be easier.
I can pass it to you a little further back.
Oh, yeah, sure. I got that one, yeah, the colorful one. Is my BCD phone away? Sorry, let's forget about my BCD. Do you have more air to go get the rest, or that's it? What's that?
Well, at least another one.
What's that?
At least another one. We'll do another one and we'll get the whole bags.
You can use the rest of my tank. Do you want me to stay on the boat or what?
Yeah, I've got enough air to do one more.
Holy, was that ever exciting. That was really cool. Literally, like, Fred wasn't exaggerating. I didn't think he would be. He's a truthful fellow. But cannonball upon cannonball upon cannonball. Like, I'd find one and I look down, there'd be resting on 2 or 3 more. You'd find the flashers too. Not as much fishing line. I guess it all disintegrates and drifts off. I don't know. There was definitely fishing line, don't get me wrong, but not as much as I would have expected to see. But craziness. Some dude on my channel a while back was all angry when I said you shouldn't be dropping a line in a sponge glass closure, no trolling, and he's like, oh, we don't touch the bottom, we don't affect the ecosystem down there. Bullshit. Look at what we just found down there. Imagine if that was a sponge glass reef that took millennia to form. They'd be blasted to smithereens, which they have been historically. All right, here's the guys there. My duty right now is just to grab the cannonballs and bring them on the boat.
Only you to grab a couple.
Yeah, I'm right here. Which side? Which side? My side or? Oh shit. Sorry. All right, camera away. You get the idea. And they're going down for round 3. Of course, I'm a free diver, but there's some things that are just better done on scuba diving. I think recovery missions for cannonballs that weigh 10 to 15 pounds each, it's definitely one of those times. Doing this on free diving, it would be like a whole entire day. And we gotta do this at Slack. This place is very tidal. It flows like a freaking river here. Even today wasn't the greatest day for it in terms of exchanges, but we planned this out a while ago, and at least the weather held it down. It's freaking beautiful right now.
Empty that, and I'm gonna go and get the anchor because there's gonna be a real bitch to on the hook otherwise.
And how many more down there do you think?
Cannonballs?
Yeah.
I don't know, 10,000 pounds probably.
I mean, in our little pile. Is there still a?
Oh, there's a milk crate and a half, so it's gonna be at least 300 pounds at least just in this crates.
Yeah, there's two and a half full milk crates.
Something like that, yeah.
And
yeah.
honestly, I feel like we didn't even scratch the surface in terms of what's down there.
No.
We covered
Like,
such a small area too,
Yeah.
compared to the area of that pinnacle.
and I was like swimming past one too. I just like, I couldn't carry more than one at a time. All good things come to an end. Actually, maybe this was just the beginning, because this is one trip of many that we'll be making back to that spot. Fred still has a crater, so down at the bottom that we still need to bring back with us, crate and a half. You can see here my rhinoid syndrome was really taking a toll on my hands. I need some new gloves and some new booties. It's that time of year where the water temperature is dropping, but the visibility is amazing. I love spearfishing, and I wish I could target lingcod all year. I can't because they're multiplying, but at the end of the day, biggest plus for me is the awesome, amazing diving in the winter. And here's the grand finale. I don't know how many are in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 22. I think that's a count, unless I miscounted, but that is a solid amount. And we still have a crate and a half on the ocean's bottom and a bunch more that we were unable to grab because we ran out of air. That was awesome, Ryan.
Yeah.
Nice to finally dive with you.
Yeah, man, that was a really good dive.
Dude, that was amazing. That was really cool. That was fun. And Fred, for finding the spot. And we'll come back here for round 2 and maybe round 3 in the future.
So there's enough lead there for round 10, I think.
Round 10, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Oh, that was a fun mission. Fun scuba dive, because I never scuba dived.
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, we put a lot of thought into like planning this dive. But,
yeah.
You know, when we get down there and the current's challenging and, you know, we start task loading and everything, like it definitely became much more difficult than I think we were.
Yeah, it's just cool to see it all come to light. We even planned this like a month.
But yeah, like like if we did this again on a double stack, like I think we could definitely do 2 dives.
Yep.
And do twice as much salvage.
No doubt.
Like this was a pretty good. Like look at that.
Yeah, man, that's like in store, like probably $60.
Yeah.
One of the glow in the dark ones.
Yeah, here's another one that's pretty good.
Yeah, but God forbid I spearfish a salmon. Can't have that, right? Can lose all this stuff in the ocean, but no, can't spearfish a single salmon. But yeah, no, good work, man, good work.
Yeah,
yeah.
Good stuff.
Clean out the ocean. It's a gorgeous day here in Nanaimo, British Columbia. I'm gonna continue my cleanup efforts here at Rocky Point. I've dove this spot a ton in recent months. Actually, I haven't been here for a few months, but before that I was coming here almost once or twice a month. It's a beautiful spot, especially this time of year when the visibility gets nice. The first time I came here, I could see right down at the bottom. I'm not sure if it's going to be that clear right now, but the visibility has been really nice in this area. I'm in Nanaimo, BC, Rocky Point. I'm diving solo. I hit up a few people. Actually, there's a few more that I should have reached out to and kind of forget. I decided to dive last minute too, so that's part of the battle. But I'm gonna hop in, gear up, and look for lures, fishing lures. Add that to my pile of dive lead that I found the other day while scuba diving, and add that to the pile of other lures that I've pulled off this reef and others. Gonna eventually sell them all. It's tricky selling dive lures. People come over and I spend an hour showcasing them, and then people buy like $20 worth. It's not worth my time, so I gotta figure out a better way to do so. Fred, he also has a bunch of lead he's gonna melt down for me. I gave him 38.4 pounds a few months back, so he's gonna give me about 30 pounds back. You lose a bit of weight when you convert lures into dive lead. I think I see, no, that's not a marbled marlet, probably a loon. Hopefully I see a loon while diving. The spot's gorgeous though, a lot of life down below, and it's just fun looking for lures. Easter egg hunt. All right, gear up time, gear up time. I got my gear on, my custom Oceaner suit, hooked up by Diving Sports. Thanks guys. This suit's been holding it down. And I got this Cospit dive computer. Super fancy. I'm gonna be doing a review, but yeah, I love it. It's been holding it down great. Gonna jump in. I think there's some other people pulled up. They watch my channel and they might be snorkeling around as well. That's kind of cool. So I won't be out there solo. If you watched my last video, I mentioned that I have not been editing as much lately. I've been hitting the gym hard after work and trying to get myself back in shape, and I'm winning the battle. I'm feeling a lot healthier, but once I'm done work, done the gym, I just don't have energy to sit in front of a computer, so I put a TV show on. But I'm still diving at least twice a week when I'm back on my days off. This dive here, I kind of had to force myself to do, but once I got out there, I was amazed by what I was seeing. I was a little, not really worried. I'd be stoked if people came here and picked up lures, but I was a bit worried there would be none to retrieve, which would actually be a huge plus, a huge positive. But there was a bunch of lures, probably found 50 or so throughout the day. And the biggest stoke for me was the visibility, just like at our last spot, diving off the west coast, the east coast, here in Nanaimo, visibility was phenomenal. There's a lot of oysters in the area. Oysters filter out any particulate matter and further improve clarity. The water's been cold and the storms have been pretty mellow. Minimal rain, minimal wind to stir up any sediment on the bottom. The viz was a bit foggy, but overall it was amazing. This was a highlight, big, massive school of herring. These herring, I love diving with them, especially when the visibility is clear. I found this massive gargantuan school And my biggest regret on this dive was not taking advantage of it. So it makes me want to come back to the spot as soon as possible and cross my fingers that they're still lingering, because it's really just breathtaking being submerged in clear water when there's just fish all around you, a big fish tornado. This spot though, no shortage of lures. I want to come back here and scuba. If you watch one of my videos from the summer, I came here with Clayton, Aquatic Monkey. Shout out Aquatic Monkey, check out his videos. He does a lot of good stuff for the ocean. But we came here and scuba dove and found a bunch. Check out the snag on the bottom. I attempted to bring it up while holding my breath. I got it off the ground, but I realized, okay, if there's a stray lure in there and it grabs my wetsuit, I might not be able to break all that fishing line by hand and I could get stuck at the bottom. And at this point, I was solo. The two people I had met, they had not entered the water at this point. So I decided to, tone it down a bit, just grab the lures and any fishing line that was attached to it. I wasn't going to try to be a hero, not worth the risk. But you can see here the piles of line. I grab what I can. I'm going to come back here maybe with some friends or on scuba and just grab the rest of the lures. And the positive to grabbing all that line, it prevents future anglers from snagging onto those snags and losing their gear. It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy or a rolling snowball. Once one gets started, it just amplifies and amplifies and amplifies until it becomes out of control. And I did find that heart crab, a really elusive, rare crab that no one really sees much around British Columbia. I found a heart crab here, all wrapped up in fishing line, which was really sad. I freed it though, and hopefully it made a recovery. This is probably the shot of the day. Again, clear water, magical school of herring. I kicking myself for not swimming back out and trying to find this school again. I got hyper focused on looking for lures, and then by the time I was done, I got really cold, and part of me wanted to go back out, but I'm like, there's always tomorrow. And now a week later, I'm kicking myself for not going back. But you catch the drift. This was another find of the day. Maybe not the clip of the day, but find of the day. This is a Father's Day gift. Happy birthday, Daddy, from Rachel, 2001. I don't know how, but it would be really neat to get that back to the owner. I have an idea. If my kids ever give me something like that, I'm going to find a spot in the ocean, leave it in there so it gets encrusted with sea life. I think that'd be a cool little project, and then put it up with all my bottles that I find in the ocean. This time of year seems to be when the majority of sea lions are cruising by. Sea lions, they're always a really cool sight, just mean mugging us from a distance. Most of the time they just look at us, stare for a bit, and then swim along their merry way. Remember, it is illegal to intentionally dive with sea lions. It's not illegal to film them if they come up to you and say hi though, but don't be chasing them, don't be jumping into their haulouts. They jump into the water, they're panicked, and then they often go straight face first into the rocks, break their jaws, can't feed, and pass away. So leave them be and admire them from a distance, and always appreciate those interactions when they happen at the same time. These pipefish were dope. It kind of sidetracked me. Then I saw this lingcod. That lingcod was there ready to pounce on one. I probably spooked the lingcod to the point it didn't feel comfortable. And then a bit of bycatch. Not really. It wasn't hooked, but it was attaching itself to some fishing line. I let it free and grabbed the lure, put it in my bag. The lure in my bag was getting pretty heavy at that point too. Probably another 20 pounds of lead. If you look in there, that was a cave. I found a fishing net in there and sold it for $50 a few months back. No fishing net in there, but I like coming out of there, looking up and seeing the schools of perch. These little salps, they're like a bunch of living organisms all in one. I forget exactly, I'm not going to try to define it right now, but salps are neat. A little bit different than a jellyfish. Looks like a jellyfish though. These lures, I am eventually going to clean them up and hustle them, sell them, and then put that money back towards my diving. By the way, these diving trips, although I do get my equipment hooked up by Diving Sports and other sponsors, diving does cost me money. I recoup a little bit from YouTube from monetization, but YouTube does not support my diving. Maybe I'm breaking even, but for the most part, I'm often out money. So at least if I'm able to sell this stuff, recoup some of the cash, I can put that towards future adventures. Hopefully my viewers enjoy these adventures, and if you do, I really do appreciate it if you throw the video a thumbs up. I know it seems a bit annoying when all these content creators are always saying, hey, give it a thumbs up. It's like they're fishing for compliments, but I'm not. Just really helps my algorithm. Lets me know this is all worthwhile because it does take time away from my family and takes time away from the gym. But with that said, I'm now prioritizing my health because health is most important more than anything. And I'm getting to that age where I got to start thinking about my health and my heart and my brain, all of the above, and make sure I'm nice and healthy for my children when they're my age. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. But if you look down here, again, I found a massive big pile of lures, all found in a crevice. Look at all the lead in there. I must have pulled 17 or 18 out of this one little pocket alone. I'd have to get my hand deep in there. I couldn't even really film. You'll see in a second I was filming like selfie mode, but I had to get my hand deep in there and just feel around. I was using the lobster claw gloves here, which are kind of mittens, and it doesn't make it much easier. Yeah, there I am, deep, digging in deep. I should have just had the 5-finger gloves. But either way, I got most of the lead, if not all of it. It all worked out. It all worked out. Oh, and another side note, if you dislike the video, I'm averaging like a 98.7 or something % like rate. Not that it matters that much, but vast majority of my comments and responses to my videos are positive. But if you do dislike the video, like explain yourself. I've said this before too, like don't be a coward. Not just my video, anybody's video. If you're smashing the dislike button without any context, I take that as a jealous hater button. So feel free, smash that jealous hater button. I love it. Go for it. If you do hit that button and explain yourself, I got mad respect for you because you're one of the few. No one ever explains why they don't like the video. They just are a coward and hit the dislike button. Anyways, I'm ranting. I tend to rant when I make my videos, but the diving, amazing. I can't wait to get back into the ocean. I'm now a week and a half dry. There's this big, massive anchovy event happening in White Rock right now. There's like, not thousands, but hundreds of seals out there. A big smorgasbord of life just feasting on all the fish that are in the water. And I didn't bring my dive gear with me to the mainland, and I'm kicking myself for it. So take it from me as well. Better have it, not need it, not have it. If you're going somewhere and you're like, do I need to bring my dive gear? You might not. But if you do discover there's a dive of epic proportions happening and you don't have it, you're going to be beating yourself up as well. So make sure you bring that stuff with you. The guys and girls, I should say, guy and girl, ended up jumping in the water. I forget their names, but they were awesome. Chatting with them for a bit. Shout out. Thanks for watching my vids. I think I had a successful mission. I'm thinking at least 50 lures, if not more. Big pile of fishing line. A couple old rods in there too. And I found this, which might even be the highlight. It says Dad on it. Turn it around. Happy Father's Day, Daddy. Love, Rachel, 2001. It was made in 2001. Doesn't necessarily mean it was lost in 2001. But it's been down there a while, all that marine growth. So if you know anyone that lives in the area, it'd be kind of cool to get this back to the father. I know if my kids made me something like this, I'd want it back. Especially if it's been hanging out in the ocean for years. Maybe that was their fingerprint back in the day. That was a great time on the water. It's really cool meeting a few of my viewers. Thanks for the support, not just the ones that I met today, but everybody that watches my channel. I saw a sea lion, that might have been the highlight. Decent amount of marine life. The herring were beautiful, and getting all these lures off the bottom is also very positive. Feels good to get back here and there. We'll do something with them eventually. I think that's it though. I got a friend coming over tonight. I won't be diving tomorrow. Back on the mainland tomorrow evening for 7 more days, and then dive time when I'm back. I got a few review videos I got to do, including this watch, which again is holding it down. It's a great watch, not just for diving, but for fitness in general. Huge, massive, bright screen on it. Almost looks 3-dimensional. Pumped on it. All right, peace everybody. Thanks for watching. And one more time, look at all that gear. Look at all that loot. Treasure diving success.